Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Radiant Moon Tarot. My name is Victoria. We are here talking about the full moon in the sign of Aquarius coming in on August 9th of 2025. There is a lot going on with this full moon, a lot of different aspects. It's very potent, it's very magical, it can be a little electrifying here, but also visionary, futuristic, and transformative. So we can certainly find some breakthroughs or some freedom with this full moon. So we're going to talk about all these things. If you do find this video that there is aspects that you like about it, please do press that like button, the thumbs up there. It really does help the video get seen, and it also lets me know that you resonate with it on some level. And I'd love to hear how this is working out for you. What is coming to fruition, or what are you releasing at this time? Drop a comment below, and even if you just drop a heart, I'll heart you right back. But we are also going to pull cards for each sign, and I will put the timestamps down below in both the description box and in the comments section as well, so you can very easily navigate between your sun, moon, and your rising signs. Full moon in Aquarius. What does this mean? Well, a full moon occurs when the moon and the sun are in opposition to each other. And the full moon is a culmination of a 6-month cycle that started back at the new moon in Aquarius, which occurred on January 29th of 2025. If you never got a chance to have a look at that, sometimes a little bit of a history lesson is not necessarily a bad thing. You can get some answers. So I will put the link to that particular video also in the description box down below, so you can check that as well. But we are having a culmination of events and a culmination of a cycle that is matching where that new moon was aspecting for you. So if you were having a new moon back in January in your first house, if you're Aquarian, then this will be the full moon also in your first house, right? So you've probably been on a little bit of a journey in the last 6 months. So this full moon, this is happening, like I said, on August the 9th. Depending on where you are in the world, if you're in the Pacific time zone, this is occurring just after midnight at 12:55 a.m. on the 9th. So some of you will be sleeping, some of you might not be. It'd probably be a really nice full moon to kind of sit out under it if you are still awake. If you're on the Eastern time zone, this is 3:55 a.m. And if you're over in the UK, 8:55 a.m. So you do not necessarily have to sit up and wait for these exact times to feel the energy of the full moon. Of course, we do feel the moons a few days before and a few days after at their height peak energy. Now, this particular moon is happening at 16 degrees. So if you are an Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising at 15, 16, 17 degrees, you are going to feel this the most. Also, if you're a Gemini, you will feel this the most as well. Or if you are an air sign, especially between 0 and 3 degrees, again, you will feel this the most. And we do have a grand air trine that is happening at this full moon. So this can be really positive. A trine is a very positive, very friendly aspect that we have in the skies. So this can certainly help you out. You might find people that can help you. You might help others, but you can just get this cosmic boost for you. So this can certainly be quite exciting. But no matter who you are, and no matter what planets you have in your birth chart and your signs, we all feel the full moons, right? And there's a lot going on with this, so everyone pretty much plays a role in some way. What do we have? Aquarian energy. So what is Aquarian energy, right? A full moon in and of itself, right, is a culmination of a cycle, right? So 6-month cycle at the very least. All right. And it can certainly be a time of harvest. So a full moon, because it is the culmination of events, this can be where you may have something to celebrate somewhere around this full moon. It could be a few days before, it could be a few days after, but up to a couple of weeks after as well. And this is where you reap what you've sown. So you see the results of what you've been working on. Whether you realized you were working on it or not, right? Sometimes we're just caught in this little bit of a loop and we're like, oh my goodness, what is happening, right? And this could certainly give you some answers. This can be as well where if you've manifested something, this is going to be where you see either the seed of possibility, the seeds of your intention, or you see what you have manifested come to fruition. Full moons are also a really good time to meditate, to tap into your subconscious, to really focus on some psychic development as well. And of course, the modern day ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, right? And so known as the Great Awakener, among other things. So this can be where you get some deep psychic insights to things, or you just might find your intuition is just really tuned in and really tapping into something maybe a little bit mystical and magical. But full moons also are a really good time to let things go. Good time for an energy cleanse. Good time to write something down that you want to release out of your life. You can bury it, you can burn it away, right? Always use fire safety, of course. And so there's a lot of things you can do. You can do some candle work and stuff as well. So things that we want to let go of, release, cleanse, purge. And sometimes it's just our thoughts. Sometimes it's just, maybe you feel like you want to slough off some some negative energy or some heavy energy there. So, we can, it's not always things or people that we want to let go of, right? It's often these energy things, or again, it can certainly be our thoughts, especially since we are in the middle of a Mercury retrograde. Now, this moon, of course, is flavored with the essence that is Aquarius. So this can be a really good full moon for you to detach emotionally. Okay, full moons are always tend to be quite emotional. Sometimes we feel like we're on a roller coaster ride. Sometimes we feel like we want to hide, but for other people, it's liberating, right? I personally love a full moon. I love sitting underneath a full moon. I revel in the energy. However, I have a friend who literally wants to run and hide and not get out of bed when there's a full moon. So sometimes we have extremes of those things. So with Aquarian energy is known for being very cool and aloof, and sometimes emotionally detached, or seemingly, right? Because not everything is as it seems with Aquarians, if you have any in your life. They're really good at hiding things sometimes, okay? But, this is kind of, cool vibe that goes off, right? But this can certainly be, Aquarian energy is really good for helping you to shake free, break free from something. Really good to help you look at the future. And it really is aligned with change and can bring you some breakthroughs, right? The modern day ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. And Uranus can certainly be very helpful for us to liberate us, to free us from people, places, things, from our past, from current thought trends and things like that we've got going on. It's like, well, this isn't working. I got to do something different. And we can have big epiphanies when, especially when we've got Uranus at play. We can also rebel, right? We can challenge the status quo with this energy also, right? So if you have any Aquarian people, or if you have Aquarian aspects, right, you might find that you're really good at thinking outside the box. You're really good at looking at future issues and problems and the future outcome of things that you're doing, right? Because you are a visionary on multiple aspects here, right? But Uranus is a very inventive energy here as well. But yes, certainly change and also surprises, right? The Uranus energy that rules Aquarian energy, which is the ruler of this full moon, encourages you to take a leap, right? There's certain times when maybe you just need a little bit more information, right? But if you've been finding that you've been in a rut, the Uranus rules the Fool card, right? And the Fool card is all about taking a leap forward, taking a step forward, getting out of your comfort zone, going out and having fun and trusting in the process, right? Not every day is going to be easy peasy. Not every day is going to be filled with challenges. So we sometimes just need to jump right in and go with the flow. But I do feel that some of you maybe do need a little bit more fun in your lives here as well. So, certainly does encourage you to try new things and, again, break out of your comfort zone. But Aquarian energy rules your 11th house in astrology as well. And this is about society as a whole. Justice, fairness, equality, right, is part of the 11th house, but it's also very social in its energy here as well. So some of you may find that you are breaking away from some of your current social engagements or groups. Maybe you feel as though you're not aligned with them anymore. Maybe you feel as though you're ready to go out on a different path, even if it's, one that's a little bit more singular, right? A little bit more alone and not necessarily with, a bunch of different people hanging on to you. And so sometimes that can be quite liberating in itself, right? Because, are the people that you're connected with in your life, whether they're online or whether they're in person, are they propelling you forward or are they holding you back? And so you might be coming to some sort of realization at this full moon. But your 11th house also has to do with your wishes and your dreams. So again, this is encouraging you. Uranus encourages you via the Fool card, right? To jump forward, to move forward, to follow your dreams. And, so sometimes we just need a little bit of a cosmic boost in order to do that. We can let go of fear at full moons as well. Now, we do have a few other aspects. Like I already said, we've got a grand air trine at this time. So this is between Uranus, who we just talked about, Mars in Libra. Mars just moved into Libra, and Pluto in Aquarius. So this can be where we gain some progress. This is where we do something a little bit differently. Again, we're kind of challenging the status quo because it can be a very innovative energy, right? It's also teamwork and collaboration with people. Pluto in Aquarius is power to the people, change to the people, is breaking down old structures there as well. Mars in Libra can be where we take some sort of action to resolve issues in our partnerships, and maybe even to bring about a fair and peaceful resolution with those things. A grand air trine is a super friendly energy and very supportive energy. So this can be where people help people. You might be feeling at this time that you want to give back in some way, whether it's, on a small scale or maybe a bigger scale. But ultimately, we are breaking away from the past, right? In 2025, there's so much going on, but 2025 is very much a taste of what is to come, and when the energy all settles down in 2026. And the part of the reason why there's all this chaos and turmoil in the world, number one, it's part of humanity. There's always something going on somewhere, right? It has been for thousands of years. However, at this time, we are truly trying to find our new footing and our new ground as we do leave the past behind. So power struggles, because we're breaking down old, outdated systems that don't work. Right? We're looking forward to a brighter future. We're moving a little bit faster. It's going to be leaps and bounds in science and technology. But there's also going to be change in dynamics, especially with governments, with banking, all that kind of stuff, right? And Pluto in Aquarius helps humanity bring something back in a more positive way. But of course, in order to do that, we have to embrace change. And of course, there's sometimes things change smoothly, and sometimes with a great deal of struggle and strife and turmoil. So we could certainly be, wanting to help in some way, and maybe you are looking at something globally going, okay, what does the future look like in this area? And, you know, do I need to do anything to help something along a little bit? We also, right at this full moon, we've got the Lionsgate portal happening, right? And that's from July 28th all the way till August 12th, but it does culminate on the 8th, 8/8, right? August 8th. And it is a super powerful ancient energy linked all the way back to ancient Egypt, where we have an alignment between the earth, the sun in Leo, and the star Sirius. And it is linked back with the flooding of the Nile and fertility. It's also bridges the gap between the physical world and the metaphysical world, right? So we bridge that gap. The veil is thin at this time. So this is great for manifestation, personal growth, creative projects, bringing something to fruition, right? The flooding of the Nile represented abundance in our lives, right? And so this can certainly be wonderful for your spiritual growth and, of course, manifesting your dreams into fruition. So again, kind of a really positive aspect with that. If you want to hear more about the Lionsgate portal, I will also link that video down below. And you see what messages are coming out there for you as well. We do have Mercury in an opposition to Pluto. Mercury is retrograde, Pluto is retrograde. So there could be some information, something that you discover or something that comes to light. And this can also bring you some clarity about what you need to change, right? What needs to stop? What do you need to transform? Again, a very transformative full moon. We also have on the 10th, Mars in Libra in a trine with Pluto in Aquarius. So this can actually be really good support. You could have some support from a spouse or a family member, a partner in your life somewhere. You could be resolving some issues in a really positive way. You could be just having a change in dynamics in some of your relationships, whether they're romantic, friendships, business partnerships, even some family dynamics there. Remember, this trine is a positive energy. And so it can be where you put to rest something that is, you know, has been going on, or maybe something that's been repeating, or something that's been going back and forth. If you are single, get ready to mingle. Okay, put yourself out there. Recognize your worth. Recognize your personal attraction. Okay, and you might want to get yourself out there. You just never know. Something interesting might happen on the 11th. Told you there's a lot going on here. And why are we going a couple of days after the full moon? Because that's when the energy is still very much active. On the 11th, a really beautiful energy. We've got the Venus-Jupiter conjunction. This can be a time to rejoice. This can be a time of abundance. This can be really good for money, relationships, real estate, that kind of thing. Venus is, of course, our planet of love and money, of beauty, of feeling good, of creativity, fertility, and abundance. Of course, we can find some resources that we're looking for in Cancerian energy, which is where Jupiter is right now. Both of them are in Cancer, but Jupiter in Cancer can expand our home. We can be finding that perfect house. You could be maybe redecorating your home, or you could be having some really positive things go on with some of your family dynamics there as well. So Jupiter is our great benefic. Venus also likes to bring us good things. So our two most beneficial planets are doing our little song and dance there for us, and they want to bring us some sort of a gift. It can be something subtle, or it can be something that is unmistakable. All right. And then really finally, we've got Mercury direct on the 11th. Mercury's being, of course, retrograde. Some of you may get some answers, some clarity, some truth may come to light there, because whenever we have a planet that goes retrograde, we relook, we revisit things, we ask questions, and then we figure out, what this meant for us. So you could really be figuring out, what was this Mercury retrograde all about? What did I learn? Or what do I want to change? And what's going on? You can also really be having some positive good news, or your communication may just get a little bit easier in some way. So that was a lot. There's some other things going on, but that's, I think, the majority of the big stuff. Okay, so I know it was long, but anyways, all these things may happen, and you might feel some impacts now, maybe a little bit later down the road, but over the next couple of weeks, you'll probably feel some things going on. And again, they can be small, but they can also be big. It just depends what you've got going on. So we're going to now pull cards and discuss where this is occurring for you for each astrological sign. So again, check out the timestamps down below. We're going to pull a oracle card and also a tarot card for you. So all the timestamps are going to be down below. Watch your sun, moon, and rising. And of course, if you found this video helpful, informative, or you just enjoyed it, please do give me a thumbs up there. It does help the video get seen. And drop a comment down below, even if it's just a heart, and I will heart you back. And we'll all be connected here with this beautiful cosmic energy. So I thank you guys for watching, and we're going to get right into it, starting with Aries. Hello there, Aries, and welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading. This is occurring for you in your 11th house, which is ruled by Uranus and carries an extra dose of Aquarian energy for you. So, of course, your 11th house has to do with society, justice, charity, groups that you belong to. It can be a very humanitarian energy there for you as well. It's also about the future, your wishes, your dreams, and of course, freedom, liberty. So you might find that you are ready to have a breakthrough. You might find that one of your wishes is coming true at this time. This can be really awesome for you. But you may also be having a look at who you're connected to. Are the people that you're with, again, helpful and supportive, or are they hindering your process and keeping you trapped and stuck, right? And so this can be a time when you're cleaning house a little bit. You might find that you want to find a little bit more personal freedom, or you're ready to meet new people who are perhaps just a little bit more in tune with you energetically. So you could potentially be letting go of some connections. Now, these connections might be in person, right? So, you know, your personal social groups, people you go and hang out at the bar with, or, you know, whatever you happen to do. But this can also be online, right? Because the 11th house can certainly be about your social media. So Uranus, of course, is very connected with our social media as well, but also with, like, you know, great change. So you might find that you're wanting to clean house just a little bit, okay? Especially if your social media has become either useless or overwhelming, or maybe it's become a little bit toxic, right? That can also happen. So you could really be shaking something off there and figuring out, you know, either I'm connected with too many people or I need to find new people. So we do need to look at where Uranus is for you at this time as well. And Uranus is in your 3rd house, and your 3rd house is ruled by Mercury, right? So it's Gemini energy. So your 3rd house has to do with your communication, your thought processes, your ideas, your devices. Okay, also your community, short trips, short travel, your neighborhood, your social life, again, and your perception of things. And so Uranus, of course, is our great awakener. Uranus can shake things up, and Uranus can bring us surprises. Okay, so you could get something unexpected that happens, but Uranus is in Gemini right now, and it's very first degree. First degrees ones are always about initiation, starting something new, taking action, or getting something off the ground. It's often innovative and action oriented. So you might be wanting to take some sort of action. You might also have some unexpected events, a change in plans, that kind of thing, especially travel plans. Maybe you had a longer trip planned and something changes beyond your control, and now you're going to do a shorter trip somewhere, but maybe it might be a little bit more fun, or it might be cheaper. So just be a little bit aware, because we do still have until the 11th, right? We do still have Mercury retrograde. So we just want to make sure that we double and triple check everything there. But with Uranus and Gemini, this can be breakthroughs, can be the beginning of a brand new era. And again, you could have some interesting little surprise, right around this time. Card for you we get is Fairy Tale. And this is beautiful. So there's a couple of different aspects with this. Number one, there could be something quite dreamy and quite associated with wish fulfillment that occurs for you around this time. It may also be a little bit unexpected, something that may make you pinch yourself, and it's like, is this real or is it a dream? The fairy tale energy can also, can also be a little bit of a heads up for you as well. And again, because we do have Mercury retrograde, Mercury rules the third house, Uranus is in your third house right now. Don't always believe everything that you see, that you hear, or that you read, okay? Because what is a fairy tale? It's a story, right? It's not typically true, okay? Yes, we can live our lives like a fairy tale, right? And things are mystical and magical and wonderful, and you could certainly have something going on around this time in that respect, right? And of course, we do have a full moon on that particular card, but fairy tale can be a tall tale. So it's like double and triple check everything, all right? It's always a good idea to do that whenever Mercury is retrograde anyway, which it is for the next few days. Then we still have a little bit of a shadow period, okay? But also just because it's a full moon as well, and while full moons can certainly be good, they can bring things to fruition. They can help us to, let go of things, right? And things can be done. We can get closure at the full moons. However, full moons, right, in the light of the moon, it casts shadows. And in the casting of the shadows, things can be something of an illusion, right? Until the sun comes out and chases all the shadows away. In the shadows, sometimes things are not quite as they seem, right? So just be a little bit aware of that, and just make sure that you do all of your homework, that you ask extra questions, you read the fine print of things, and just, protect yourself, and just don't necessarily believe everything that you hear, all right? We've got the messenger of earth here as well, and the messenger of earth can be really wonderful energy. So number one, pay attention to the details, okay? There could be some information that comes to light for you. You could get an offer, an opportunity that comes your way here with this. What were you wishing for? What have you been manifesting in your life? But the messenger of earth can also be about discovery, right? We're discovering some information we didn't have before, whether you're researching something or whether just something is presented to you. It can be a secret, something that was previously hidden, or it could be something that you are perhaps revealing here as well. But the messenger of earth is typically really positive. It can be really good for money, for real estate, for your jobs. It can be money well spent, right? So, again, because you're looking at some details here, some of you. So if you do spend a little bit of money, make sure that you're getting your money's worth. But you can also spend some money on getting some extra advice, okay? Especially if you need to make a decision about anything to do with your money or real estate, things like that. Something that can impact you financially, okay? Just make sure that you do get your information from a reliable source, or pay somebody to review whatever it is that you're doing there, okay? But certainly the messenger of earth, you may have been waiting for something for a while, and you could certainly get whatever it is that you've been waiting for. I'll leave that there for you, Aries. I hope you have a wonderful, magical full moon, and we'll move on now to Taurus. Hello there, Taurus, and welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading. This is occurring in your 10th house. Now, your 10th house is, of course, ruled by Saturn. Saturn is retrograde right now in the sign of Aries. So this can be where you are maybe wanting to break free out of something, maybe break free from some responsibilities that have been put on you. You could have some breakthroughs at this time as well. But you may have been revisiting what you've been committed to or your goals and your dreams, especially as they pertain to your work and to your career path. Some of you might be looking at making a career change right now in some way, but you could also get your just rewards. Okay, so someone may recognize you for the hard work and dedication that you've put in, and this could perhaps reward you via a promotion, a raise, or maybe give you that little extra boost on your resume that you need to find a better paying job or even change your career path. Your 10th house is about your public image, fame, recognition, honors, and awards. It's also about your achievements as well. And even if no one else recognizes your achievements, recognize yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. Okay. And because let's face it, not everybody recognizes us, especially like bosses and things, right? Quite often they're wrapped up in their own little world and that kind of thing. And here you are, little Taurus, just plugging away. And so if they're not, insightful enough to recognize you and maybe have taken you for granted, give yourself a pat on the back, celebrate your own personal achievements. And let's face it, if you do have a boss or workplace that you feel doesn't appreciate you, then maybe this is something that you're going to be changing. But certainly you can have something really beneficial come to fruition, or you can just be feeling like in your career path that it's just the end of a cycle, and it may have been a challenging one for some of you. The last 6 months, you might be sitting there going, okay, we've been through a tough time the last 6 months, and let's hope that things get a little bit easier from here on out. And, and fingers crossed, let's hope that they do. All right. So, but yeah, some of you could be reaping some sort of rewards. Now, we also do need to look and see where Taurus is at this time of the full moon for you as well. Uranus is the ruler, of course, of this full moon. And in your second house is where Uranus sits. Now, this can be either really, really good, or this can be a little bit scary, okay? Because Uranus, of course, is the Great Awakener. Uranus is the wild card in astrology. We don't always know what Uranus is up to. Whatever we think it is, it's often something a little bit different. Uranus, of course, is about evolution. It is about freedom. It is about breaking away from something. It is about pushing you leaps and bounds sometimes out of your comfort zone, right? And it is about the future. It's a little bit of a rebellious energy there as well. So what does this mean in your second house? Well, your second house, of course, Uranus is in your house, right? Taurus energy rules the second house, okay? Your planetary ruler is Venus. Venus right now wants to bring you something because Venus is in Cancer, Jupiter is in Cancer, and they're going to be kissing in the sky. They're going to have a conjunction, right? So you could get something really interesting or really fruitful that happens with your money, right? Because your planetary ruler is working for you very hard. And of course wants to bring you a gift or wants to bring you some help. And so Uranus here in your house of money, second house is your house of money, your income, your self-worth as well, right? So again, if no one else is recognizing your achievements, your accomplishments, don't forget to give yourself that pat on the back. Okay, very important for us to do. Can't rely on other people for our happiness all the time, or to even recognize the things that are important for us because maybe they're not important for them, right? So give thanks, give gratitude, treat yourself well, treat yourself to something okay? Because celebrate, right? Celebrate you, all right? Because that second house really does have to do with your self-worth as well, okay? So, you know, you celebrate you even if no one else does. But your second house is about your income, the things you own, the things you value, right? How you make your money, how you spend your money, how you invest your money, right? So, you know, you could have some things being shaken up here right now, but you could also have something blossoming in a really positive way. And maybe you do discover that the best path for you forward might be something a little bit different. But Uranus is always here to help us. It just makes us uncomfortable sometimes, right? But so you could have some, you know, surprises there. But remember, Uranus rules the Fool card as well. It is about taking a leap forward. It is about trying something new. It can certainly be about having some fun, right? And freeing yourself from the shackles that have maybe been holding you back. We have authentic energy. I love this card. It's so pretty. We've got the stars dangling from the man and the moon. It's just so beautiful. So it's just such a pretty card. Anyway, authentic. All right. Now, be true. What is authenticity? Truthfulness, right? Being true to yourself. Being uniquely you, letting your personal self and all the wonderfulness that comes with it, letting it shine. When we are in the energy of our own authenticity, nothing can shake us. We feel more confident. We feel more connected with who we are or who we want to be, or who we even want to leave behind, right? Because we can leave aspects of ourselves behind. We are evolutionary, right? And, you know, this can certainly be a time of profound personal change for you. But this is about being you. Being you, recognizing your own self-worth, being confident in yourself. And if you are in a situation somewhere where you can't be true to who you are, right? And, you know, especially like in your workplace, right? I mean, we have to put on little masks every single day somewhere in our life, right? We don't act the same at home as we would at, say, grandma's house, right? We might act a little bit differently. We're still, the essence is still us, right? But we put on just a little bit of a mask. And sometimes we have to do that in our workplace as well. But that can become stifling if you really can't be who you are, right? So you might be wanting to stand in the truth of your own authenticity and doing something that brings you more benefit in some way. But whatever your situation happens to be, you might have some truth coming to light. Oh, would you look at that? We've got the Empress card coming out for you. I love this for you, Taurus. You might really have something coming to fruition. The Empress card certainly does speak to, in some cases, new beginnings, abundance. It's a time of growth, fertility. It's a time of creation, creativity, finding the resources that you need, practicing a little bit of self-love, self-care as well. But the Empress card is ruled by Venus. Venus is your planetary ruler, like we already said, and Venus and Jupiter together in the sign of Cancer want to bring you something. Growth, personal growth, financial growth, new beginnings in any of those areas. Maybe you've got, maybe you've got something that you've been wanting to do and you can do something on the side to bring you a little bit more money, right? Whatever it happens to be, the Empress brings us beauty, Venus brings us beauty. And so I do feel like here you might have something very interesting that's going on, whether you are blossoming and growing into your true authentic self, or whether you're making some changes or you've got something coming to fruition for you. The Empress is a beautiful, beautiful energy. Okay. Connect with nature, right? Always pretty important at a full moon anyway, because sometimes we can feel like things are out of control, especially with all the aspects that are going on around this one. But the Empress card is about nature. And connecting with the outdoors, connecting with the planet. And you, of course, are an earth sign. So, so go outside, get yourself grounded, If you can't go outside, bring the outside in, bring in some plants and some flowers or something, a tree, maybe, you know, like a little tree that goes in your corner or something like that. And maybe this will certainly, number one, beautify your environment, purify your air, but also remind you that sometimes growth and abundance does take time. We have to give them space to grow, right? And so this can certainly remind you of that as well. But certainly some beautiful, loving energy that is coming out here for you. And I do feel that you are blossoming in some way. I'll leave that there for you, Taurus. I thank you for watching, and good luck in this full moon. And we'll move on now to Gemini. Hello there, Gemini, and welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading. This is occurring in your 9th house. Now, this can be super interesting. Perhaps some of you are going on a trip. You're going on a long vacation. It might be for educational purposes. It might be for learning something in some way. Maybe you're going to go on some sort of trip where you can also take in some architecture or some history or something like that. That can be really cool. But it might be something that you've been waiting for anxiously, because again, you've been booking it and planning it for the last 6 months or so, and now it's finally here. It's finally coming in. Some of you, again, you might not have planned anything. You might just have a sudden opportunity to expand your horizons in some way, whether it's a learning opportunity, whether it's a travel opportunity, or whether you have an opportunity to put some sort of big idea that you have into reality. Right? Remember, things can come to fruition for you at this time. So this can be really interesting for you. And it can certainly be something in alignment with your personal goals. You could perhaps have something to celebrate. Okay. Some of you might be publishing something, right? 9th house energy has to do with all of those things as well. But you could also be having some sort of awakening at this time. All right, because the 9th house does have to do with your belief systems, okay? Your traditional religious upbringing, perhaps, in comparison with maybe a spiritual growth or a spiritual path that you're on, and maybe you're trying to reconcile those. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what works for you, what belief works for you now, what makes more sense for you now, and then what to leave behind, right? So this can be a really big transformative time for you in that regard, especially with Uranus being in your 1st house right now. And your 1st house is all about you, your beliefs, your goals, your dreams, the things that you want, your happiness, your vibe, essentially, right? Your appearance, the face you put on for the world, all of these things. So it's really all about you in this energy, right? So, you know, again, Uranus being in your sign can be like the start of a brand new era in some way for you, whether it's how you view yourself, whether it's what you want out of life or what you believe in, right? So this can certainly be really transformative for you. Uranus entered your sign on July 7th. So some of you have maybe started to get a taste of what this energy means for you. Some of you, maybe you've kind of got a couple little ideas, or maybe you started to question things a little bit more. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more rebellious, right? But Uranus in your sign, it will be here for the next few months, all right? Then it will retrograde, all right, back into Taurus. And then in 2026, will settle down in your sign, right? And Uranus transits each sign about every 7 years, depending on retrogrades, okay? So this will be an energy you're going to get nice and cozy with over the next 7 years. But this beginning of a new era, sudden unexpected changes, this is revolutionary energy. This is an energy where you can have revelations, or maybe you want to reveal something with this energy as well. But you can certainly be expanding your mind, expanding your horizons. So, you know, this can be where you do have those big breakthroughs. This can be where you want to just do something a little bit different, right? Same old ain't gonna work for you anymore, right? You want something new, you want something exciting. So, you know, really embrace this energy, because this can be really invigorating, and it is fast. And of course, at this full moon, right, you are part of this grand air trine. So it's quick moving energy, it's thought provoking energy, it's supportive energy. It's one that supports big ideas. It's one that supports change, right? And so it can certainly be a little bit magical for some of you, but it's getting you out of your comfort zone, right? So if you've been languishing in your comfort zone, be prepared to be shoved right out of it, okay? Let's see what the cards say for you guys here. And we have earth energy here for you guys. And so this can certainly be a reminder to get grounded. And so getting grounded can certainly help you keep your feet on the ground, okay? We have a lot of air energy here. We've got Uranus in your sign, okay? And we don't want you to float away like one of those crazy inflated dudes at the, you know, those things that dance around in front of the car dealerships, like they're air blown things, and they just kind of flop around in the wind and all that kind of stuff. We don't want to do that. All right. We want to kind of, just, you know, keep our wits about us and have both feet planted on the ground firmly. So connect with the earth in some way. Okay. Go outside, go for a walk in nature, sit by the ocean or a lake, river, pond, those kind of things if you can as well. Of course, Aquarian energy, it's the water bearer, right? Which still air sign. Okay, but water bearer, right? And so you might feel connected with some water at this time as well. And it's water can be really cleansing. Water can be really spiritual, but it can remind us of the power of the universe, right? The power of Mother Nature as well. So certainly connect with the earth in some way. But earth energy is also something we can touch and feel, right? So again, you could have something coming to fruition for you that you can touch, something that you can maybe even have an opportunity to explore the earth, right? The earth around you again. So some of you might be going traveling somewhere along the way. Some of you might be studying something that is connected with the earth as well. So that can be interesting, but certainly the earth energy can keep you grounded and can help keep you focused. Okay. Your tarot card got the Page of Air. There's your air signs. I love this for you, Gemini. The Page of Air is very much associated with new ideas, with, with keeping an open mind, with the future, with technology, and starting something new or being excited about something can certainly be an energy of messages, communication, new technology, but also one of it's just a very lighthearted kind of energy. With that Page of Air, we can be finding some freedom with this here. We can be embracing our new sense of self or some new ideas that we maybe have, and we're taking an opportunity to move forward with them, right? I do feel that some of you may find some opportunities somewhere in the field of technology or even science somewhere here. You could make some more money, or you could, just layer your income opportunities there, because the Page of Air is very much associated with the internet. Okay, or you could be communicating with someone via the internet, or have, again, some sort of door and opportunity opening up for you, because this can be a time where something comes to fruition for you. But certainly lines of communication on all levels are open here, whether it's internally within you, whether it's something you want to say, or whether it's something coming in. You might get some enlightenment at this time as well. So it can be super exciting for you there, but expect maybe some sort of message to be delivered in some way with that Page of Air as well. I'm going to leave that there for you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful full moon, and we'll move on now to Cancer. Hello there, Cancer, and welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading. This is occurring for you in your 8th house. Now, your 8th house, of course, can certainly be about other people's money, or the money or resources that you share with other people. The eighth house can be about the inevitable things, right? Ruled by Pluto. Pluto right now is retrograde in Aquarius. This is births, deaths, transformation, taxes, loans, the money resources you share with other people, joint assets that you share with other people. This can also be the sacrifices that you make, the things that are hidden, and also intimacy. Okay, so other people or things that you share with others can certainly be coming to play here. Now, for some of you here, maybe you've been working on something over the last 6 months with another person, maybe to improve your finances. Maybe you've been working with a business partner, or perhaps you've been working really hard to pay off some loans. And this can be where you might get just that little bit of financial freedom or a financial breakthrough of some kind. You've got some sort of achievement potentially there, because that eighth house, it can certainly have to do with loans. And a full moon can be the endings, right? So paying something off. And of course, you've got Uranus in your 12th house, which can certainly be an ending there. So again, you could be paying off those pesky loans, whether they're, student loans, something, maybe you bought a car or something like that, or maybe you've bought a house. Whatever it happens to be, you could be paying it off. The eighth house is very transformative, and of course we do talk about births and deaths, right? Sometimes things need to leave, things need to come to an end in order for something new to come in. So again, you could be having some sort of transformation going on there. Yes, the eighth house can certainly also deal with inheritances as well. And of course, with Uranus in your 12th house, I will say for some of you that you could get some sort of surprising news at this time. Okay. It could, maybe you have a relative somewhere and you didn't know that they were sick, right? And all of a sudden you might get some sort of news, but maybe they name you in their will, right? So it's like you take the good with the bad, right? You could have something like that going on there. But hopefully the inheritance news that you get in is from someone's living will. That would be nice. Sometimes our relatives want to see people enjoy what they're inheriting before they pass on themselves. So sometimes living inheritances can certainly occur a little bit more often today than maybe in the past. But with Uranus in your 12th house here, your 12th house can be sometimes a scary place, right? Because we go really deep within sometimes in the 12th house. It is a very spiritual house. We can get in touch with our psyche. We can do an emotional deep dive. We can get in touch with our emotions. We can figure out what we need to let go, right? We can reveal something to ourselves about ourselves, right? Something that maybe has been hidden, right? So sometimes those things crop up, right? Especially with the 8th house here as well. So, there could be something there that you've been keeping hidden, or something that you've buried deep, and now is a time for transformative healing for you here in this energy, right? It's not easy to do. I won't say that it is, because it can certainly be a little bit frightening sometimes. But our 12th house really does speak to our subconscious. It is about clearing out karmic debts. So some of you really are getting some big closure here, especially with the Lionsgate portal at its very peak the day before this full moon, because the Lionsgate portal can represent karmic closure. So again, this can really hit some of you really hard, but it can be really freeing, right? Really liberating, right? But sometimes we've got to work through a couple of things first there. Your 12th house does also have to do with your dreams. So you could get some very weird dreams right at this time. Secrets, of course, as well. But you could really benefit at this full moon from finding some peace and quiet. Whether you meditate, whether you do something with candles, or whether you just sit, right? But sometimes, a lot of times when we have a full moon in our 12th house, The full moon's not in your 12th house, Uranus is, right? But the full moon's in your 8th, which can also really speak to your ability to connect spiritually, as is your 12th, right? So you might find that you want some peace and quiet and some seclusion at this time, whether it's to sort something out or whether it's just to be. Never underestimate the power of just being. We're not doing anything, we're just being. So you might get some blessings with that as well. But with Uranus in your 12th house, I mean, Uranus helps us find freedom, and often in unexpected ways or from something that we didn't quite realize was holding us back. So, you could really be having a massive transformation, very big shift in your evolutionary cycle here for you, but it sets you up for a future that may be a little bit lighter and brighter for you, okay? Especially with other people or with your money. We can get some wonderful things that happen when we've got these things, these endings coming in for us, right? Things like financial freedom and things, or you may find that you and a significant other are on completely different pages when it comes to things like your money or your outlook for the future. And you could have something really shocking that does happen at this time. But even though it's a difficult thing, or an ending is always difficult, right? But it's also a blessing in disguise, right? So you might have that coming in for you here as well. Uranus does tend to shock and surprise us, right? So you just never know what's going to happen with that. It is a wild card, and a wild card in your 12th house with your full moon. I'd love to know. I'd love to know what comes to light for you there with that. But we have focus coming in here for you, okay? So focus on where you want to go. Focus on what you want to start. Focus on what you want to transform. Focus on the things that you need to put an end to or you need to close out. Focus on your personal or spiritual growth, right? And you will never go wrong. You might find it a little bit challenging to focus at this time, right? We've got a lot of fast moving energy. We've got some really positive energy, but we also have some challenging energy at the same time, right? So focus on the positive, focus on the good, focus on you, and keep looking forward to the future. But I will say, Cancer, we do have the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in your sign, okay? So whatever is going on, you've got some blessings headed your way. Venus wants to bring you something good and Jupiter wants to bring you something good. Okay, now this could be with Uranus at play too, pushing you out of your comfort zone, getting you to try something new or do something different, right? And that all lines up with you. But this conjunction can certainly bring you a gift. It can bring you some blessings. It can open doors for you. All right. We have the Page of Air. You could have some good news headed your way. All right. The Page of Air is quite often a messenger and quite often brings us some sort of information. But the Page of Air is also, quite often really does speak to big ideas, keeping the lines of communication open, speaking our truth, discovering new things. It's very closely tied with the internet, technology, and of course expanding our horizons, but it's an exciting energy here. So look to the future. The Page of Air is always looking to the future, right? Is not hung up on something from the past. And the Page of Air kind of is footloose and fancy free a little bit. The Page of Air is the Page of Swords, and it is quite often associated with Aquarian energy. So again, this full moon can be really liberating for you. And it can, kind of push you forward into the future in some very interesting way. I'll leave that there for you, Cancer. I thank you for watching. Good luck in this full moon. We'll move on now to Leo. Hello there, Leo, and welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading. So this is happening in your 7th house. 7th house is your house of relationships and partnerships of all kinds. So love and romance, yes, friendships, business partnerships, you name it, your connections with other people. Believe it or not, your 7th house also connects with your enemies, okay, or sometimes frenemies, okay? So with a full moon, you might be realizing who is in your team and who is just faking it. So who's working with you and who's not working with you. So you could get some sort of awakening with that, okay? But for some of you here, you could have something really blossoming with a partnership in your life here. So something could be going up to the next level, or you might see something just really blossoming in a really wonderful and magical way. 7th house is ruled by Libra and Venus. Okay, and of course, Mars just went into the sign of Libra. So Libra wants peace, Mars wants action, and sometimes a little bit warrior and advocate, or sometimes wants to fight. So sometimes, though, it can infuse some passion as well. So you could have some passionate endeavors with partnerships coming in here for you, but you could also be taking some really positive forward action into resolving any kind of issues or problems that you may have with some of these partnerships in your life. 7th house does also have to do with contracts, okay, and especially your contracts that you have with other people. So think of like your job, or think of resolving like legal issues and things like that. So you could have some sort of resolution there. Just make sure if you are signing any contracts or anything, that you do get some legal advice, right? 7th house is, Libran energies, the scales of justice, right? So you might need to figure out really what something means or what you're getting into before you sign on the dotted line, okay? Whether you're resolving a legal problem or whether you are signing a job opportunity, right? Whatever it happens to be, make sure you read all the fine print and get a second opinion, or just get someone else to read it over. So we want to make sure that anything that you set yourself up with is really positive. But like I said, you could certainly have something coming to a close. So maybe you've got an old job contract or something coming to a close. Maybe now you have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more free time for yourself, or to spend with the people that you enjoy. Right. So certainly some interesting things. I will say that Venus, of course, is in the sign of Cancer along with Jupiter, and they are going to have their conjunction. And so this can certainly bring you something really positive, especially with your relationships or your home or your family. This can be a shift in where you live. You could have a relationship again evolving. Maybe you're just dating right now. Now you're going to either get engaged or live together or something. And so this can be a really joyous time for you. Heightening your commitment, so to speak. But yes, someone could certainly pop the question, and it could be quite surprising for you. Just remember, of course, Mercury, like I said, is still a retrograde, but it's retrograde in your sign. Okay, so miscommunication, misunderstandings, and missed details, especially with contracts or big sales, financial endeavors, can impact you the most. So again, I repeat. Get legal advice, get another opinion, dot your I's and cross all your T's, okay, before you sign something. It's not that there's something bad. It's just to make sure that everything is what you want and that you understand everything there as well. But you could have had some drama with some personal relationships here as well, and those could be resolved at this time as well. Now Uranus for you guys is in your 11th house, and so this can be really fun. It can be really social for you. You might even have something to celebrate with this, okay? But Uranus can bring some sort of surprise for you as well, or you could find yourself breaking free from previous social engagements or social connections, right? This can be where you do want to find a little bit more freedom, or you want to connect with people that are a little bit more supportive. So you could be cleaning house on your social media, but you could also be meeting somebody or having some sort of mysterious happening going on that is brought to you by people within your social group. and whether they're just an acquaintance or a really good friend. So it might be something really exciting for you with Uranus in your 11th house. Uranus rules the 11th house, right? It's Aquarian energy. So things might be just lining up for you in an interesting way. But of course, full moon, something can come to an end, so something better can come in. We have harmony coming in for you, and I love this. Really love this for you, especially since this full moon is in your 7th house, which is Libra energy, which is balance, fairness, equality, and a little bit of harmony. So this is awesome. It's a very peaceful and very loving kind of energy. And so this can be what is coming in for you, or this can be what you are highlighting here as the universe wants you to focus on. Okay, focus on peace and harmony, focus on balance and equality, right? Find some quiet space to spend with your loved ones or to do something that you enjoy, right? But find the harmonious aspects in the things that you do or the people that you do connect with. But it is very peaceful and a very calm energy there for you, and is certainly achievable, all right? We have, I'm just going to turn this the other way. This particular deck does not have reversals, and so it's clearly something flipped around. But we've got the Page of Earth. Interesting. Now, the Page of Earth can certainly bring you something, bring you a gift of some kind. This can be money. This can be something new, something bright and shiny, a new phone. This can be something with your technology. This can be a financial reward or a new opportunity. So this can be really exciting for you. The Page of Earth can also bring you knowledge and information. The Page of Earth is on a quest for knowledge here as well. So again, you may want to make sure you have all the information that you need before making a decision, but you could also be discovering some sort of information. And of course, we do discover things quite often here, but the Page of Earth, we take our time as well, though, right? It's not a fast moving energy. It's a slow moving energy. So it could be that something that you've been committed to, something that you've been working towards, something that you've been dedicated with can go to new heights. The pages do bring us news, they bring us information, they bring us messages, they bring us gifts, but they also bring us either something brand new or a new level here. So we could certainly be leveling up in something here, and something you've wished for, because Uranus ruling your 11th house. Your 11th house is, yes, all your social stuff, but it is also about your wishes as well. So you could have some wish fulfillment coming in here with this full moon. I will leave that there for you, Leo. I thank you for watching. Good luck in this full moon, and we'll move on now to Virgo. Hello there, Virgo, and welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading. This will be occurring in your 6th astrological house. So this is an energy you are very familiar with, right? Because your sign rules the 6th house. And your 6th house has to do with your health, happiness, and well-being, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, you name it. Now, you could have been on quite the 6-month journey. And when you look back at this full moon, you may not have realized until now exactly how far you have come on your journey. Look back to the new moon in Aquarius. What intentions were you setting? What new habits were you trying to incorporate into your life? What changes were you making, right? This is where you see some of the fruits of your labor, and you recognize that, oh, wow, I actually have done well. Maybe you still, have room for improvement, or you haven't quite accomplished your goal, but you've hit some sort of milestone here, and you're certainly better off than you were 6 months ago on some level. So this can be really awesome. So if you were starting a new health regime, maybe you were trying to exercise more, maybe you're just trying to eat a little bit better, or maybe you were trying to find a better work-home life balance or something, or maybe you started a new job or you've been looking for one, right? Because your 6th house, health, happiness, well-being, your fitness, your diet, okay, your daily routines, your pets, all right? You could have something going on with your pets right about now. Hopefully maybe they just have a birthday, hopefully for you. But yes, something can happen with theirs. It's a great time to visit the doctor or get a vet checkup, for your pets, obviously, not for you. But it's for your own peace of mind, right? Not that there's anything necessarily wrong, but for your peace of mind. We go to the doctor for a checkup to make sure that we're healthy, right? So this can be that reminder, this planetary reminder. This is a good time for you to do that. And you are just about at your astrological new year, right? It's almost your birthday. And this is the time of year we tend to be a little bit more reflective, or we try and focus on ourselves and, being happy and, making sure that we are healthy and all that kind of stuff. So some of you might be going to the doctor yourselves. All right. But with the 6th house, there could certainly be something that affects your day to day that is coming to fruition, or again, you could have achieved a goal. But by the same token, the 6th house can be where you finally want to get rid of some bad habits. And this is giving you a planetary boost of change. Okay, Uranus is right now in your 10th house as well. And so your 10th house really does have to do with your reputation, your ambitions, your goals, your dreams, especially in your work and career. Okay, and so there could have been something that you've been working towards, or you've been trying to prove yourself in some way. And this might be where you finally get some recognition or reward for all of the hard work and dedication that you've put into. But with Uranus in your work sector, in your career sector, in your 10th house, there could be something significant that is shifting. It could be for you personally, but it could also be something around you. Someone could come in and announce that they're quitting, and maybe this puts you in perfect alignment for a promotion, because someone recognizes your hard work and dedication. And so that could happen. Or maybe you wake up one day and go, I can't do this anymore. My work home life balance is completely out of whack. I don't have time for myself. I don't have time to focus on anything that I love to do. I'm just work. And so this can be a massive epiphany for you, and you could wake up one day and want to start something new. Right? With Uranus, anything goes. So whether it's something new or something exciting, right? It's a harbinger for change. All right. So this can be very interesting for you in your 10th house. I'd really love to know what's shifting there for you. So let's see what cards are coming out for you here. We've got joyous. Okay, so maybe some of you do have some really good news coming in, or you're just feeling good about yourself and about what you've accomplished, even if you've just been making small progress, baby steps, or small changes, right? This is where you feel good about what you're doing. The joyous energy can certainly represent something to celebrate, some good news coming in here for you, or a door of opportunity may open for you here with this as well. All right. And this can also just bring in a little bit of a boost to your outlook on things also, right? When we're feeling good about things, we're feeling optimistic, we're embracing our positive side, a little bit of magic does tend to happen somewhere there. So embrace this joyous energy. It's going to be really interesting. And we've got the 10 of water. 10 of water is your 10 of cups energy. So there could be something really positive that's going on for you here. And again, maybe it's something just really small, right? Something, those little baby steps that you've been taking over the last 6 months. And again, this might be where you're seeing that I have made progress. I didn't give myself credit for it before. So rejoice in anything that you've accomplished, no matter how big, no matter how small. But the 10 of water can certainly represent that there's something really positive that's going on around you here, or you're feeling a little bit more positive at this full moon than maybe you have been. So this can be really wonderful. This can be a cause for celebration. And it is a 10. All right, so 10s, yes, the end of a cycle, you're about to begin something new or take a level up in some instance, right? It's all positive for you, right? Makes you happy, makes you feel alive, right? Makes you feel like anything is possible. Here's a little bit of magic in the air for you. But 10s are also A 10 is also where Uranus is, in your 10th house of your career, your ambitions, your drive, your determination, your reputation, right? And of course, recognition. So someone could be really recognizing you in some sort of way, and this puts a smile on your face, whether you get money, whether you get a promotion, or whether you find something new and exciting, right? So, certainly some really positive, joyous vibes going on for you guys. So embrace it. Let go of anything negative or anything that's been holding you back, and live each day to its fullest. Be present, be focused, and I'd certainly love to know if you've got some good news coming in. I'll leave that there for you, Virgo. I hope you have a wonderful full moon. I thank you for watching, and we'll move on now to Libra. Hello there, Libra, and welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading. So this full moon is occurring in your 5th house. Not a bad place to have a full moon, by the way. Your 5th house is ruled by Leo. Of course, we are in Leo season on the 8th, right bang smack right before this full moon. We do have the Lionsgate portal at its peak on the 8th, so August 8th there. And so there could be something quite mystical or magical that may be opening up for you here. Keep lines of communication open, all right? It might be a really good time for some meditation, some reflection, and just being open to some messages can be really interesting for you. But the 5th house is fun. Right? The 5th house is creative energy. There's some love and romance maybe in the air for some of you there. This is about your hobbies and interests. So also about your ability to find pleasure and joy in even the simplest things in life. So for some of you, if you're single, you could have something really surprising that does happen, because of course we've got Uranus at play as well. So there can be some, unexpected turn of events there. You could have a love affair that is deepening in a bond. I will say that with Uranus, the ruler of this full moon, it is a full moon. We've got a Venus-Jupiter conjunction 2 days later. Your 5th house can represent, sometimes pregnancy. And so some of you may have a surprise pregnancy, and might be joyous, but it might be a little bit shocking, okay, for you there as well. But it is possible. But it's generally a really fun, a really pleasant place to have a full moon. Uranus is in your 9th house. Your 9th house has to do with your belief systems. Okay, has to do with travel, with expansion of your mind, with learning opportunities. And of course, Uranus can be where you free your mind, you free yourself from old, outdated belief systems, and you embrace something new. Again, Uranus is the great awakener, and Uranus can really help us to be a little bit visionary. And the 9th house is matters of the mind, expanding your mind, expanding your horizons, a very philosophical energy, right? And Jupiter rules the 9th house. So you could have some little bit of luck in your way. You could have a little bit of luck if you have been wanting to go on a vacation or something, and maybe you've just been really busy. You could have a lucky break there somewhere, especially if you've been feeling bogged down at work or something. And now it's like maybe your company has hired someone. Now you have some freedom. Uranus brings you freedom to go on a vacation, or you find the resources that you need to go on a big vacation or something. You could also maybe even have a little bit of a lucky break yourself there as well. If you were publishing anything, like if you've, maybe you've done some creative writing, and you could find a publisher, you could find a way to self-publish, and that could be really beneficial for you, because the 9th house is Sagittarian energy, and it's ruled by Jupiter, and we do have a Venus-Jupiter conjunction coming up. And so this, can really benefit you in some unexpected way. So expect the unexpected is pretty much everybody. But we've got love coming out here. This is beautiful considering the full moon is happening in your 5th house of love and romance, right? So love and romance, creativity, fun, good times, and of course, sometimes our friends and, parties and things like that. So love. So some of you could be meeting someone new. You could have what was a casual romance might be deepening at this time. Or you could just be encouraged to find more time to do the things you love, the things that feed your heart and soul, the things that make you feel joyous and content and make you feel alive and positive and optimistic about things. So certainly some love in the cards for you. And don't forget about self-love as well, right? I can hear some of you saying, I'm single, I've been single for a long time, there's nobody out there. And well, there is people out there. Sometimes they're hard to find. But there is someone out there for everybody if you want it, if you choose it. But again, sometimes, divine timing is very much at play. But love yourself. Love, happiness, joy, all these wonderful things, they start internally, right? And the more you love yourself, the more you will radiate love out there and you will draw people to you like a magnet, okay? So live your best life, do the things you love, the things that make you feel fulfilled, and your journey will not necessarily be easy, but easier to navigate sometimes, right? So you got this positive outlook for you. We have the 10 of water. I love this for you as well. Happiness and joy. What brings you happiness and joy? That's your focus. You could also have some really good news coming in, a significant turn of events that brings you some happiness and joy as well. The 10 of water is the 10 of cups. And of course, the 10 of cups is one of the happiest and most positive cards in the entire deck. A lot of magic in the air. And with a 10 can be a culmination of energy, something really positive can be shifting here for you. It may require some change, but it will ultimately pay off for you. But I do feel that some of you, you're going to find yourself in the right place at the right time, or you might get some really positive news. I'll leave that there for you guys. I thank you so much for watching. Good luck in this full moon. We'll move on now to Scorpio. Hello there, Scorpio, and welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading. This is occurring in your 4th house. So your 4th house is Cancerian energy. Jupiter and Venus are both in Cancer right now. And of course, they will have a conjunction and they want to bring you some sort of gift or an opportunity there. So get yourself in receiving mode. But your 4th house is also about your home, your family, your ancestors, your siblings, your nurturing parent, most often your mother, but it doesn't have to be, and your private life, your sense of stability, security, the foundations that you've built. So if you've been working towards something on the home front, something could be coming to fruition for you now. If you've been trying to sell your house, you could just get an offer. I was about to say a job offer. Well, maybe, but you could get an offer. If you've been saving up for a down payment so that you can qualify for a mortgage, right? That kind of thing. You might have that opportunity opening up for you now as well. But you could be resolving some issues on the home front here also. But of course, a full moon can be the end of a cycle, the end of something there. So there could be some changes in the dynamics of your home, whether you are transitioning from being single to now living with somebody. You could have one of your children moving back home or maybe even moving out. So something could be changing in the dynamics there for you. And it might be something that you didn't quite expect. Okay. But we do have Uranus in the 8th house here for you. And of course, you're very comfortable in the 8th house energy, endings, new beginnings, transformations, taxes, inheritances, and joint resources. Some of you might get an inheritance and you can unexpectedly pay off some loans. perhaps. Some of you may, if you're trying to buy a house or something, or move to a better neighborhood, you can have a family member that all of a sudden steps up and helps you out in some way. The eighth house, of course, can be about your joint finances. So with a full moon, it can go either way. It can be that you are joining forces with somebody, and now you're about to embark on a new journey with somebody. So your old ways of paying all the bills on your own and struggling and all that kind of stuff might be over, because now you might be moving in with somebody, getting married, getting engaged, that kind of thing. And now you are joining your finances together. So even though maybe you're not making any more money, it feels like you have more money, right? So you could be doing something like that. But at the same time, a full moon can be an ending, as can Uranus be in your eighth house, right? Sudden endings, sudden beginnings, sudden changes, sudden transformations, right? But ultimately, even if something does come to an end, it frees you from a situation that may not have been working out in your favor anyway. So Uranus will do you a favor, but will also make you feel uncomfortable sometimes as well. But expect the unexpected with Uranus, and of course with your relationships with other people, or the money and resources you share with others can of course be significantly changing in some way. So it just depends on your circumstances, right? It can be an ending, it can be a beginning, it can just be something that's shifting for you. But you could be finding financial freedom at this time, or you could be finding the money, the resources to get yourself something that you want. So it can be really interesting in the dynamic. I'd certainly love to know what's going on for you there. We have wish. Maybe you are getting a wish fulfilled. Look at that. Wonderful. Aquarian energy does bring wish fulfillment, rules the 11th house, as does Uranus, right? So this can be something that's shifting in the dynamics that brings you closer to your wishes, or makes you realize what you're wishing for. But you could, yes, absolutely have something that is coming in here for you that is in alignment with something that you have manifested, something you've been patiently waiting for, and something that you have wished for. So a little bit magical there for you. And we have the Four of Water. Be open to receive here, guys, okay? Because you may have been waiting for something for a while, and you might be starting to lose faith, lose hope, okay? But the Four of Water reminds us that there is something coming in. Just be open to something a little bit different, okay? Because sometimes the Four of Water, like, we're looking directly in front of us. We're looking for something exact, and we're not recognizing something. We're losing interest. We're losing patience, right? We're just like, ugh, whatever. But then something comes in out of the side view, right? Out of our peripheral vision, comes in out of left field sometimes, right? But sometimes it's something that's a little bit different than what we thought it would look like. Okay, so we have to be open to all possibilities here with this, all right? Because something is trying to come in for you here with the Four of Water, is something that's been delayed, okay? Or something that you're about to give up on sometimes, okay? And sometimes the universe tests us as far as our patience goes as well, right? It's like, I want to make sure you're ready. And, so part of being patient is certainly part of our test sometimes. But look at the way this is lining up for you. Okay, we've got our little witchy woman here, and she's holding, maybe it's a full moon, it might be a crystal ball, but we've also got this woman on here, little mer woman, and she is holding a pearl. So we've got something outstretched. So again, something could be coming in for you. Whether it's maybe someone that gives you a helping hand, a kind gesture, or a gift. So be open, ready to receive, all right? Step into the flow of things and don't push something away. If someone offers to help you, say yes. It's not always easy to do that because we have to be vulnerable, right? Or we have to admit that we need help. But if someone offers something to you, try saying yes to the universe and see what happens. Magical things can happen when we say yes instead of saying no or, oh, no, you don't need to do that, right? Because the universe says, if we say no to things, right, the universe is like, oh, okay, well, they're good. Great, Scorpio's good. I don't need to bring them anything now. We don't want to do that. We don't want to create blocks, okay? We want to be open, and we want all the blessings to come towards us. I'll leave that there for you, Scorpio. Good luck in this full moon. I thank you for watching, and we're going to move on now to Sagittarius. Hello there, Sagittarius, and welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading. Are you ready here, Saggy? You've got some really friendly aspects that are going on with this full moon. So this is happening in your third astrological house. Now, your third house can certainly have to do with your communication, your neighborhood, short trips, devices. Maybe you have a phone or a computer or a tablet or something that's at the end of its life, and you might have the opportunity to buy a brand new one and get with the times. You could, you could be having some new neighbors move in or something, or maybe you're moving out of your neighborhood into a better one. But certainly some more positive communication can be going on for you here, and your perception of certain things can be changing a little bit. This can be something where you had previously perceived someone to be positive, and now you're like, I don't know, I don't think they're really actually a positive person in my life. And so in true full moon fashion, you might be moving away from that person. But at the same time, if you weren't too sure about somebody, maybe now your perception has shifted and you're like, okay, yeah, they're good people, right? And sometimes we're just not too sure. We kind of, kind of let something play out there a little bit. So you could have something interesting going on with your social life. You can have invitations that come in here for you. At this time, we do have Pluto in a trine with Uranus. So this can be some really positive and unexpected change for you. And again, you can have like some support system that's coming into play for you here. But you could have some sort of information that comes to light, whether it's a secret, whether it's an opportunity or door, a portal opening for you. This is a very friendly aspect for you here, very supportive. We do have a very potential positive turn of events for you guys here as well. Of course, your planetary ruler Jupiter is going to be in conjunction with Venus, okay? And this can be really good for love and money. And this full moon for you with Uranus is going to be in your 7th house of other people, love, relationships, business partnerships, friendships, contracts, balance, fairness, equality, all these things. And so you could be reaping your just rewards, okay? Or you could have something that's being resolved, maybe in an unexpected way, okay? Because Uranus does bring unexpected things quite often, but you could have some really positive changes that go on. So with that full moon being in your 3rd house, you could be potentially getting some really good news. You could be resolving issues, and of course, something can come to fruition for you with that. All right, so keep the lines of communication open, and maybe get into receiving mode here, because again, it's like someone could be helping you out. You could be meeting new people, or you could have a sudden shift in some dynamics there that can put you in line for a little bit more love, money, romance, really good things in your life there. We've got peace coming in here for you guys, and so this is wonderful, right? Peace and harmony. And again, your Uranus is in your 7th house, and 7th house is ruled by Venus, right? Which is really good, making a nice, wonderful kiss in the sky with Jupiter for you. And, but Libra energy is peaceful, right? They're the peacekeepers, right? Libra wants everyone to get along. Libra wants everyone to have, live in peace, love, and harmony, essentially, right? So you could be making peace with somebody. You could be finding some inner peace. You could be resolving issues with somebody in your life right now, even if it's something from the past, right? You might be finding the power within you, right, to find forgiveness. And when you do that, you find inner peace, right? It's not for anyone else's benefit. It's for yours, essentially, right? Because it's a weight lifted off of you. So you could be achieving peace through forgiveness in some way. All right. But certainly you could have some peaceful resolutions, or maybe this is just a heads up for you that you might want to find some peace and quiet at this full moon so that you can get yourself in that receiving energy, whether it's messages, whether it's gifts, whether it's news, whether it's new beginnings, whether it's whatever it happens to be for you. You just never know with Uranus at play. Find that peaceful, blissful, quiet time, right? So meditate, work with some crystals, or just sit, just be. It's amazing what happens when you just be, right? And that's essentially what meditation is anyway, right? Quiet our conscious mind and we just be. So find your peace, all right? And we've got the Four of Earth. Now, the Four of Earth is not necessarily a bad card, right? Some people look at the Four of Earth, go, oh, that's a miserly energy. It's the Four of Pentacles. However, the Four of Earth reminds us about the foundation that we've built. And that we need to make sure that the bricks and the blocks that we've put in our foundation are the ones that keep us safe and secure and keep us grounded and keep us, are the things that we want. So perhaps at this full moon, you're being encouraged to let go of the things that aren't part of the foundation that you want to continue with. Right? Sometimes we get those loose bricks, those loose blocks, right? And it's like, oh, you've got to go. You're not part of my future. But this is also a reminder here, though, that, we've built a certain foundation. We've gotten to a certain point in our lives. And there's more to come. There's more abundance to be had. There's more opportunities to be had, okay? Keep both feet on the ground. Keep a good head on your shoulders. And, know sometimes how to be discerning. Saggy, you tend to be a very lucky sign, right? You're ruled by Jupiter. Let's face it, right? So sometimes, you don't necessarily know where money is going to come from. It just appears, right? Maybe perhaps it's a gift. Maybe your family tells you you're so lucky, and maybe you just have that casual outlook sometimes on money as well. And that can be really positive for you because maybe you just don't fret as much about it as some other people do. You're like, okay, well, you know what? There's something else is going to come along, right? And it's great because you're not putting so much weight on things. But sometimes as well, you can be a little loosey-goosey with your money also, okay? So the Four of Earth is encouraging you to perhaps make sure that you are making some plans for your financial future. Put some money in the bank, open a savings account, a retirement fund, whatever it has to be, or whatever it needs to be for you. This can also be about planting roots, right? Where do you see yourself? Where do you want to plant roots? All right, with Jupiter in Cancer right now, this is very much about home, family, stability, and security. So make sure that you're making wise decisions with your money, with your home, with your career path, where you can get a little bit more stability and security in your world. But I also think for some of you here that something is going to transpire. And remember, Venus and Jupiter in Cancer want to bring you something good. Okay, and this can be something that brings you some stability and peace of mind. So if someone offers to help you, say yes. If you have a door of opportunity that's opening for you, maybe it's time to go for it. All right. But make sure that whatever it is brings you more stability and security in your life. All right. I'm going to leave that there for you guys. I hope there was something here for you. Good luck in this full moon. I would love to know what kind of gifts or doors opening or opportunities you guys may get with this conjunction, which is wonderful, but also what the full moon may bring you or release you from. Anyways, I thank you for watching. We're going to move on now to Capricorn. Hello there, Capricorn, and welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading. This is happening in your second house of money, income, resources, self-worth. So you could have some investments coming to fruition for you right now. You could be making some sort of shift in how you make your money, how you spend your money. But you could have some positive things going on. You could also be, really assessing your money situation, your finances, right? Do you have your money in good investments? Do you have any retirement funds set up for the future? Are you wanting to buy something at this time? Maybe you've been saving up for the last 6 months or so, and now might be the time where you finally have enough put away that you can buy the things that you want, because your second house has to do with your money, how you make it, how you spend it, how you invest it, the things that you own, your belief systems around money as well, and of course, your values and your sense of self-worth also. Is your self-worth tied to money and possessions? Perhaps now you're seeing that maybe that works for you or that doesn't work for you, right? So, you could have something really blossoming for you at this time, but you could also have a little shift in your belief systems happening as well. Now, Uranus, who we also need to look at this full moon, is in your 6th house of health, happiness, well-being, your daily, your daily work, your daily routines, your habits, again, and also your pets. All right. So there could be something there for you where you all of a sudden get an epiphany and you're like, I got to make some changes, right? It could be because you went to the doctor, right? The 6th house, has to do with your health practitioners as well, right? Your family doctor, your vets, your specialists, all that kind of stuff. So, this is a good time for you to get a checkup, a good time for you to take your animal to the vet as well. But again, you could have some sort of worry or some sort of revelation that does come about from something. Maybe you go to the doctor and you were wondering if you've, got some sort of major thing wrong, and the doctor's like, nope, you got a clean bill of health, you're good. Great. Wonderful. It gives you, some freedom, but by the same time, it could also give you some sort of news, and you have to take charge of your health in some way. Right? And your 6th house has to do with your health, happiness, and well-being, your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual as well. Also, are you working yourself into the ground, Capricorn? Right? You're a very ambitious sign. You got a lot of responsibilities. You take things seriously a lot of the time, right? But you do sometimes have the habit of overdoing it. All right, so time to find a work-home life balance, time to lay off a little bit of the overtime if you can. Perhaps you got just a singular purpose in mind, and once you achieve that, now you're like, now I need a vacation. I'm going to do something a little bit differently as we move forward. Maybe you need a little bit more fun in your life, right? Whatever it happens to be, your work and your money are very much hand in hand. Are you happy where you work? Are you ready for change? Because Uranus is certainly very supportive of you breaking away from work and money and all these things that are not healthy for you anymore. All right, maybe they were at one point. So you could have a career change at some point down the road for you. And so this can be a huge breakthrough for some of you here in this energy. But I do feel like some of you are maybe wanting to make some very significant changes in how you go about your daily life. And even if it's just a little small change, they do add up, right? So start small, one little baby step at a time, all right? We have create, beautiful. So there's certainly a lot of creative energy going around for you, your ability to create the life that you want, or to get creative, turn a creative endeavor into a money-making venture. This can also be something that you have been working to create. Maybe now you're going to start to enjoy the fruits of your labor. All right, but now is the time to create the framework and create that life that you truly desire, that you truly want. And again, you may have something that's coming to fruition because this creation energy can certainly bring something into fruition for you. So something that you've been manifesting for quite some time. We do have the High Priestess here. Now, this is oddly enough card number 2. Okay, and the full moon is happening in your 2nd house. So this can be significant for you. The High Priestess is certainly about trusting your intuition, maybe connecting with your spiritual self as well. However, the High Priestess is also a very quiet, very mute energy, the keeper of secrets and mysteries. So there could be something here where something that has been hidden is revealed. You could be the one revealing something, okay, but someone may reveal something to you, and it might be something you can't see, something you weren't aware of, or something that maybe wasn't even on your radar. All right, this can be information, this can be news, this can be an opportunity, right? Whatever it happens to be. But no matter what your situation is, the High Priestess does remind you that you possess all of the wisdom and knowledge internally that you need to make the right choices and decisions for yourself. You don't need to look outside of you to know what the right course of action is, right? Deep down, you know, does this feel right? Does this not feel right, right? You possess that knowledge, okay? But I do feel that maybe there is something that may be revealed here. You might be the one that's doing the revealing, but it could come from another source, and it might come in as a little bit of a surprise. And of course, with your 6th house and your 2nd house, it could be something that happens at work, and this can line you up for, a promotion, a raise, that kind of thing. Maybe your boss walks in one day and says, "Hey, everyone, I'm retiring." A coworker could suddenly decide that they're leaving. So there could be some sort of revelation that comes in, and this can either, cause you to think about things. Okay, so if this person's leaving now, do I really want to stay? I'm looking for something different. Or this can, of course, line you up for a better opportunity without having to put forth too much effort. You just never know. But the High Priestess, it is a very mute energy. So someone's keeping quiet about something, and it might even be you. But Uranus will bring it to light. We also have the 10 of Fire coming in here as well. So you're being encouraged here at this full moon to let things go. All right. This may have been a very stressful time for you. Maybe the last 6 months has been just draining and tiring. Perhaps you've been so busy. You've had a lot on your plate, a lot of responsibilities, a heavy workload, that kind of thing. Maybe even just some worries and doubts. Okay. The 10 of Fire, we're burning these things away. We're letting these things go. We're giving these things back to the universe. It's the end of a cycle for you, right? A full moon is the end of a cycle, but 10s are also the end of a cycle as well. We're finding a better way forward. Okay. We're either going to start something new, or we're going to do something better, because the old ways of doing things, or the previous cycle that we've been on, it's not been the best for us. Okay. So there's brighter and lighter times ahead for you, and you are tapping into the ability to create that better life for yourself, whether it's belief systems that you need to get rid of, right? Sometimes those hold us back. Maybe it's fears. Maybe it's your the 10 of Fire always reminds me of Capricorn a little bit, because some of you you are very ambitious, you are very goal and career oriented. Not surprising, right? You're ruled by Saturn. You've got this sense of responsibility, but sometimes that goes to extreme. It's not a bad thing to be responsible and all that kind of stuff, right? But we can go too far, because you can pick up 10 of Fire other people's responsibilities, right? So you're picking up everyone else's slack when we get this card, right? And then you wonder why you're tired all the time, or why you don't have time for fun and all this kind of stuff. So, being a good worker and being focused on your career path and things is wonderful, but we need to know when to say no. And so sometimes when we get the 10 of Fire, we need to put it all in the bin, and we need to start something different, okay? Or we need to do things a little bit differently, and we need to put up those boundaries that people don't love enforcing, but unfortunately are necessary to enforce, no matter who we upset while we're doing that, okay? But I do feel like there is a lighter and brighter cycle opening up for you guys here. Having said all that, I'll leave that there, Capricorn. I thank you for watching. Good luck in this full moon, and we'll move on now to Aquarius. Hello there, Aquarius, and welcome to your full moon reading. You are the star of the show, and your full moon, of course, is happening in your first house. So, your first house is about you, your goals, your personality, yourself, the face you put on to the world, your appearance, okay, your approach for life, your attitude, the things that you want, right? It's all about you. And so, the last 6 months, have you had enough time for you? Have you been the star of the show? Has the weight of the world fallen on your shoulders, right? And so this can certainly be the end of either a very beneficial cycle for you or a very challenging cycle for you, okay? Or perhaps one that's a little bit of a mixture of both. Has your career been going well? Have you been having fun? Have you been doing some significant changes with your appearance in some way, right? Have you been losing weight? Have you been sprucing up your wardrobe a little bit? Do you have a new haircut? All these things certainly do factor into our cycle, right? So look back to January 29th, all right, to the new moon in your sign. And what were you manifesting? What intentions were you setting? What kind of goals did you have in mind? Okay, and what did you want to come to fruition, or what did you want to change? And then, be really honest with yourself and look back on the last 6 months. What have you accomplished? I guarantee you have accomplished more than you give yourself credit for, right? Now, you may have been thrown into situations where you had to roll up your sleeves and get to work. Perhaps you have been on a journey where, you've wanted to make some personal improvements. But you may also have been in a cycle where you had intended all these wonderful good things at the new moon, and then life tossed a few curveballs your way. And so maybe in some aspects you've had some really positive success and forward progress that you've wanted to make, but other aspects, maybe you've just been on Mr. Toad's wild ride. So wherever you happen to be on your journey, okay, give yourself a pat on the back. You've survived, okay, you've made progress, no matter how big, no matter how small, okay, and now it's time for you to reap your rewards. Something may come to fruition for you here. We've got Uranus, your ruler, in your 5th house. Your 5th house is fun. It's happiness, it's joy, it's creative, it's a focus on the things that you do that bring you happiness and joy. It's your creative projects, your hobbies. Some of you, hey, maybe you might have a door opening for you, something that you didn't quite expect, right? Uranus in your 5th house, right? Unexpected opportunities to maybe make money with your creative projects and your hobbies, or maybe more time to spend doing the things that you love. Unexpected happenings can be in your 5th house with Uranus there in love and romance as well. Perhaps you've been working your butt off for the last 6 months, but now your reward might be a little bit more free time, might be the universe might be sending you a romantic interest, a connection there, or maybe some new friends. You could also perhaps get some financial rewards here as well. All right. You just never know, right? Happiness and joy can certainly abound. But Uranus is here. You're fairly used to Uranus energy, right? You tend to be a little bit rebellious. You're forward thinking. Okay. But Uranus can come and shake things up a little bit to shake you out of stagnation, or to help you find freedom from something that has certainly been giving you a little bit of a challenge, but also been giving you some rewards perhaps as well over the last 6 months or so. So should be interesting to see what might come to fruition at this full moon for you. But whatever your situation is, find yourself some quiet space. You are part of this grand air trine, obviously, so you can have some really wonderful gifts headed your way. We've got Venus-Jupiter conjunction coming up here, still in the full moon energy, so you could be getting some invitations, offers, opportunities, or again, just some blessings of some kind headed your way. But certainly use this full moon to cleanse and purge. Okay, especially if things have been challenging over the last 6 months. If you're tired, you might just need just an energy cleanse, bathe under the light of the full moon, if you will. However you cleanse, purge, and detach. All right, it's time to do that, so you can be a little bit more open and receptive to some blessings that are headed your way. We have white light. Beautiful. Number one, white light is protection. So if you do find yourself in challenging situations, imagine yourself surrounded by this beautiful white light. White light is also purifying, it's peaceful, and it's also very spiritual. So you could certainly be getting some sort of enlightenment at this time. And of course, remember, Lionsgate portal is the very day before this full moon in your sign, and we bridge the gap. The veil is thin, it's spiritual growth, it's manifestation, it's connection, it's fertility, it's abundance, all these wonderful things coming in, but we can certainly be getting some spiritual downloads at that time as well. So, great time for some meditation, work with some candles, work with crystals, or just sit under the light and the energy of the full moon and absorb it. So work with the Lionsgate portal energy as well. All right, so very interesting, but I do feel like you are going to be experiencing some sort of awakening or some sort of epiphany moment. Okay, something may come to light as well with the white light, but it's a blessing, whatever it happens to be for you. We've got the Four of Fire. Well, this is exciting. The Four of Fire is, of course, the Four of Wands, also known as your 1111 card, which can certainly represent a calls for celebration, of joy, of socialization, of camaraderie, success, abundance, higher level of commitment, and of course, your wishes being fulfilled. So this can certainly be some very exciting energy that is here for you, but it's also bringing you stability and security. Okay, we're planting roots, right? So this can be really wonderful for you. Again, some of you could be getting some really good news. You could be getting an invitation to go to some sort of happy, joyous gathering, some sort of event. And there could be some interesting events that transpire there. You just never know. This can represent anniversaries, weddings, engagement parties, networking and socialization of all kinds. Very fifth house kind of thing. And of course, Uranus is in your fifth house. So expect the unexpected. Okay, whether it's just getting out there and being footloose and fancy free, a la the Fool card, or whether it is jumping into some sort of new beginning and some sort of exciting energy, you are being liberated. All right. So certainly feel this high vibe energy here for you. Okay. Things are aligning for you. All right. I'm going to leave that there, Aquarius. I thank you for watching. Good luck in this full moon. We'll move on now to Pisces. Hello there, Pisces, and welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading. This is happening in your 12th astrological house. Woo, boy. Okay. So your 12th house can be very deep, very spiritual, very transformative. Okay. You might find that you really want nothing more than to be alone at this full moon. Okay. Your 12th house is, of course, you're very comfortable for the most part in the 12th house. It's ruled by Neptune. Okay. Your ruler. And so you could be wanting to, number one, find a little cozy place to curl up with a book or to meditate or something to work on yourself. But the 12th house, of course, can certainly be about endings, karmic endings for you, big end of a cycle for you, perhaps, here as well. It can be about secrets. So there could be something that's hidden that may come to light at this time. You just never know. It could be something with your home and your family. It could be something just within you. You could have a massive spiritual awakening with this energy here as well. But there's some healing energy that also comes about with this also. So, Sometimes the 12th house can be a scary place because we really dive deep into our subconscious. All right. And we reveal the things, or things come back up that we thought had been dealt with, or the things that we've buried, the things that we've hidden. Right. And this is a time to deal with those things. Right. So it can be some deep rooted fears. It can be some, things that previously went on in your childhood, right? But it can be things that, by freeing us from those things, by recognizing them, by bringing them into the light, we can release them and find freedom from them, right? So we can move forward a little bit lighter and brighter than ever before. But it's certainly kind of a dreamy energy. Pay really close attention to your dreams, Pisces, okay? You could be having some very enlightened dreams, or you could be having some wild and wacky ones at this time. You just never know. All right. But certainly a full moon can be closure, can be endings. Same with the 12th house, but something can be revealed to you, or something can come to fruition for you as well. Now, we do need to look at Uranus and the ruler of this full moon, and Uranus is in your 4th house. Your 4th house of home and family, of your ancestors, right? Perhaps you might be inclined actually to get some sort of personal reading done, or past life regression. Maybe tap into the Akashic records, get a Reiki session done, something like that. Something in the metaphysical might be really beneficial for you at this time. Okay. And it just might be something. You might just find out some information, or something might be revealed to you because of that, or you could just have this cleansing that goes on, or you might be getting some answers. But the 4th house is about your house and home. It is Cancerian, ruled by Cancer in the 4th house and Venus. And of course, this is where we have the Venus and Jupiter conjunction. And so, I don't know, you could just have something unexpected, some unexpected surprise. You could get some help coming from somewhere that you didn't expect. You could all of a sudden find like some financial freedom. Someone could move into your house. Someone could leave your house, but it's a blessing for you either way. Okay. But Venus and Jupiter are both in the sign of Cancer. 4th house is Cancerian energy. So of course, there could be some unexpected surprises, blessings, or freedom that can come in there for you. Okay. Remember, Venus and Jupiter want to bring you something good. Okay. Positive returns there for you with those. All right. We have adventure coming in here for you. Have you been feeling like you're stuck at home? Have you been feeling like something's got to change? You might have the opportunity for adventure. One thing that Uranus does, is get us out of our comfort zone. So does Jupiter, by the way. Okay. Jupiter's might be a little bit gentler than Uranus. Uranus is like, I'm just going to kick you out the door sometimes. So, I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable, but adventure. So you could have some opportunities for new beginnings, for adventures coming in here for you. Or you might be feeling a little bit stuck, right? You might be feeling like there's more to life than work and sleep, right? And so you could be uncovering your need for something a little bit different, to have some fun, to go out there and explore the world. Uranus, remember, is associated with the Fool card. And the Fool is about a leap of faith, new beginnings, getting out of your comfort zone, going and having fun, throwing responsibilities to the wind, hopefully temporarily though. But it's where we're trusting in the process, right? We're not worried about whether something's going to work or something not. We're just trusting that we're on the right path. So when we embrace the sense of adventure, we open doors for fun, for excitement, for change, for opportunity. We have the 6 of Earth coming out here for you as well. Something's coming back to you. Okay. The 6 of Earth can be where we find balance and harmony, fairness and equality. The There can certainly be something financial going on here, or something with your responsibilities going on here as well. All right. It could be your home, right? It could be your family, the people who you share your home with, right? And so there could be something here. There's a shift in dynamic that needs to happen. Okay. And we're finally talking about something. Maybe you're not super comfortable always talking about money, right? And this can be where you're keeping something very deep, 12th house. But now something has to come out into the open because it's got to resolve itself. It's got to change. And so if you've been having any financial issues or inequality imbalance with somebody who you do share your bills with, right, then this is a time where we can certainly get things back on track. Take a little bit of a chance, take a little bit of a risk. Maybe they'll be more receptive to the conversation than you think. But the Six of Earth is also a return card. It's circulatory energy, right? Or circular energy, I should say. So what we put out comes back to us often multiplied. And of course, a lot of people are getting some sort of gift or door opening or something coming to fruition at this full moon. And so this can be some money coming back to you. It can be help coming back to you. It can be some resources coming back to you. All in all, positive. And the Six of Earth sometimes does come in as a little bit of a surprise, something that we didn't quite expect, right? But it's all good and it's all positive in that energy there. So certainly something where we can right some wrongs and we can get something back on track for sure. But I do feel like some of you are getting something, whether you discover something, maybe you find some money in your pocket, maybe you find a hidden bank account. Remember, your 12th house is where your full moon is, and there's secrets, right? Or something hidden. And so, so this can certainly be very rewarding. Okay. Or it can be where we bring something to light and then we get things back on track because we have dealt with a problem head on. So I'm going to leave that there for you, Pisces. Good luck with this full moon. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.